Speaking of Italians, populist parties surge in Italian elections. This is from CNN. Populist parties have gained ground at the expense of establishment voices in Italy's parliamentary elections, which produced no clear winner as votes were being counted in the early hours of Monday. The anti-establishment five-star movement is projected to have gained the most votes by a single party, while a center-right coalition looks set to hold the most seats in the country's Senate. According to national broadcaster Rai News 24, five-star movement led by 31-year-old Luigi Di Maio is projected to gain over 32% of the vote, still short of the 40% needed to form a government. Now, based on the early vote count, the result looks like a win for the center-right coalition brokered by former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi, which collectively is projected to hold the biggest share of the vote, 35.5%. So, and here's a fun fact about Berlusconi. Berlusconi is pretty much Italy's, well, actually, I was going to say Berlusconi is pretty much Italy's Trump, but he came first. That's not fair to say. Trump is America's Berlusconi. That's the better way to put it. Berlusconi is a showman. He is a kind of Hollywood type personality. Now, the other thing about him that kind of separates him from Trump, he owns most of the media in Italy. Berlusconi owns most of the media. That's why there are some ridiculous articles that come out in the Italian press. Like there was an article about how Berlusconi, even though he's older, he could still have sex 6 times a week. That was like an article that came out in their press because he owns the media. So he was like, yeah, this is important. This is something the world needs to know. I can have sex 6 times a week. Saki points out that Berlusconi is also competent compared to Trump. I believe that. So yeah, I think that what's going on in Italy is kind of similar to what's going on here. They're seeing through the establishment nonsense, and they want better populism. Italy is in very bad debt right now, as Saki points out. He used to live in Italy, he's saying. And they're kind of done with neoliberalism, and they're probably wanting to... they're probably connecting with more populist message. So it's the same thing that's happening here. And it's happening over there. That makes perfect sense. Do I think Russian memes are responsible for that? No, I don't. I don't think they had anything to do with it here, and I don't think they had anything to do with it over in Italy either. I'd be curious, what some of those reports are. I know NPR had a report saying, well, let's just look it up. Why not? We're talking about it. Let's just look it up. Italy's five-star movement leads in polls, but some past supporters vow never again. All right, in Italy, polls, general elections suggest the maverick five-star movement is more popular than any other party. Founded in 2009 on an anti-establishment platform by Beppe Grillo, a vitriolic comedian, it's setting its sight on heading Italy's next government. Okay. Trying to see. Many analysts worry about their foreign policy, including a call to lift EU sanctions on Russia. Grillo has praised both President Trump and Putin as strong statesmen, calling them a blessing for mankind. When Trump won the U.S. presidency, he said it's the risk takers, the stubborn, the barbarians who will carry the world forward. Okay. BuzzFeed News has reported that five-star platforms posted content from the Russian outlet Sputnik, as well as many fake stories, including a claim that the State Department secretly funds traffickers smuggling migrants to Italy. Grillo has dismissed accusations of spreading pro-Kremlin propaganda and fake news online as ridiculous. They are created exactly to invent issues or to spread massively news that are favorable to the party, maybe to Russia. Okay. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this all sounds familiar. They want actual populism, and I'm not sure of all the context with some of these quotes. I mean, obviously, I don't agree in praising Trump or Putin. I'm not for either one of those two people. But we live in an age where you're not allowed to be both anymore. You can't have a problem with the status quo without being called a Trump sympathizer or a Putin sympathizer, and that's absolutely ridiculous. This whole notion that all of our problems with our society are linked to Russian propaganda is absolutely ridiculous. If you have a problem with the behavior of DNC, it's because you're being brainwashed by Russia. That's insane. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know you guys know this. But it seems like something similar is happening over in Italy. People are connecting with a populist message. They're connecting with a more progressive way of doing things. And you're trying to reduce that to, oh, you're being brainwashed by Russian propaganda. Oh, you don't really want single-payer healthcare. Russia's brainwashing you. Give me a break. I think people are connecting with real populism. I think that's what's happening. People are connecting with actual populism. And it's happening around the world. It's not just happening in the United States. And real populism challenges the status quo. It challenges the neoliberal agenda. And so the establishment doesn't like that. The establishment media doesn't like that. The politicians in power don't like that. Here in the United States, they'd rather lose to a Donald Trump than actually have real progressive change. That's what they'd rather have. So you're going to try to distract people. You're going to try to make these false equivalencies and make these false connections. And it's an insult to people's intelligence. And it's an insult to the people that want actual change in this country. And, you know, I'm not fluent in all the views of the 5-star movement. I'm not fluent in all of their platform, but just the idea that people looking at it from bigger picture context, that people that are connecting with populism, oh, they must be brainwashed by Russia propaganda. That's ridiculous. And we see through that. And I think more people are starting to see through that. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.